Welcome to Whippoorwill Holler. I'm Miss Lori and this is Mr. Brown. We live in the hills of Arkansas. We love the Lord. Keepers of the old way, but accept some of the new. We love to cook and we love to eat. We love to garden. It's in our blood. It's how we stay sustainable and fill our pantry. We do a lot of canning and preserving. We live a sustainable life. We love our family. We work hard. And every once in a while, we like to dance. So y'all join us. It's a beautiful day today. 60 degrees. It's so pretty. What do you think about it, Hank? Good boy. Me and Hank's just hanging out, soaking in some sun rays, some vitamin D. Gonna have to take Hank to the vet next week. He's not eating very good. I'm checking for worms, heartworms, see what's going on with him. Poor Hank. I'm feeling just a little bit nostalgic today. I'm wanting to make a cake, but I'm just wanting something that kind of just brings me back home. I've got some apples, so I'm going to make just a fresh apple cake. An easy apple cake. One like my grandma would have made, my mother-in-law. Nothing fancy. Just ingredients that you already have. You're going to need about 3 cups of chopped up apples. I don't get particular about my apples when I'm making an apple cake or a pie or anything. I just always use what I've got. Just chop your apples up pretty good. So there's really not a whole lot of ingredients in this cake. And if you got apples, then you pretty much got everything else that you need. We're just going to use one bowl. That means less cleanup. I've got a 9 by 13 rectangular pan here, baking dish, and I just sprayed it with some olive oil. And what you're going to do is don't preheat your oven for this cake. You're going to stick this cake in a cold oven and then turn your oven on to 325, and you're going to bake for 1 hour. So we got 2 cups of granulated sugar in here. And I'm going to add 3 cups of my chopped up apples. Whoops, that one's not even chopped up. I think I got a little ahead of myself, didn't I? You know, this apple cake brings back just so many memories like I was talking about, because not only did my grandmother make, and she didn't make it very often, but she always made a plain cake, and sometimes she would just add apples in it. Now, I remember Danny's mama making this apple cake right here with a certain kind of icing on it. So we got 3 cups of chopped up apples with 2 cups of granulated sugar. Now, this recipe does call for quite a bit of oil, so just use whatever oil that you use to bake with. You use olive oil, if you use canola oil or vegetable oil, whatever. This morning, or today, I'm going to be using just sunflower oil is what I'm going to be using. And you need 1.5 cups of oil. Those of y'all that know me very well know that I use a lot of my rendered lard to cook with. but it's not one of my favorite things to bake with unless it's a biscuit or something like that. But as far as cakes or cookies, sometimes I'll use it in a pie crust. But I don't use fresh lard usually in a cake. So you see I've got the oil, the apples, and the sugar all mixed up together. And I'm thinking that my bowl's not going to be big enough. We're going to hope it is. We need 3 beaten eggs. Just going to mix that up together. So that's pretty much all your liquid except for your vanilla extract. Okay, I've got a teaspoon of baking soda and a teaspoon of salt. And it calls for 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I have got some vanilla paste here that I'm going to use. I got this at Sam's Club, and I've been wanting to use it if I can get it open. Maybe it's open. This has Madagascar vanilla bean paste in it, and it has a little bit of agave syrup in it. And it's supposed to be really good for baking. Let me shake this up. I can see the vanilla beans and the vanilla seeds in there. I'm going to shake it up a little bit better. But you can just use, this is called Magnolia Star, and I get it at Sam's Club. Or just use any kind of your homemade vanilla extract, whatever you have. So you need a teaspoon. You can see that paste coming out, just like that. And I can smell it. Love the smell of vanilla. So we're going to stir that up a little bit. Then we got 3 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to throw that in there. Now we're just going to fold all this together. Okay, this is going to be a thick batter. But you just need to kind of fold all your ingredients together. Now, if you want to, you can add some walnuts or pecans to this. Okay. So I've got my greased rectangular pan here. We're just going to put our batter in here. You can see how thick it is. If you want to, you can add even a little bit of cinnamon in here if you wanted to. And just spread it out. And remember, I didn't preheat my oven, so I'm going to put it in a cold oven. Okay, I set it to 325. I'm going to set my timer. I'm going to set my timer for 45 minutes. Then I'm going to check it because I may have to turn it. And then I'll put it, if it's not quite done, I'll put another 15 minutes on it. Meanwhile, we're going to make the topping that goes on top of this cake. And that's the best part to me. I wanted to show you this vanilla up close. Magnolia Star. And you might can order it, you know, online. I don't know. I just know that I got this at Sam's Club the other day when I ran in there for some fruit. And I really like it. And it's really not that expensive. It has, it's a vanilla bean paste, and it has, of course, the vanilla bean. And then it has agave in it, the syrup, and then it has vanilla extract. And it's supposed to be really good for if you just want to drizzle it on top of yogurt or something like that. It's supposed to be really good too. For the sauce to put over the apple cake, you just need 1 stick of butter, and you're going to melt the butter, and 1 cup of brown sugar, and 1/4 cup of heavy cream. And you just want that butter to melt, and you want it to heat up and let it come to a simmer. And when it starts to thicken up just a little bit, we'll take it off the heat. I'm using dark brown sugar, but you can use light brown, whichever you have. Okay, now we're just going to poke some holes all up and down the warm cake. And this cake kind of has the top of it's good and brown, and it's kind of crunchy on top. Now this will be a little bit of a denser cake. It'll be good and moist, but it'll be a little bit denser. You just want to poke them holes in there. That way that warm glaze will really soak into the cake. The butter has melted, and it's all come together. The brown sugar has melted, and it's just been simmering. You can see around the edge how it's kind of just boiling around the edge a little bit. I'm going to put a teaspoon of vanilla. We'll take it off the heat. I'm going to go ahead, this is optional, I'm going to put in a good handful of pecans. So it's ready to put on top of the cake. Okay, our cake has been glazed, and now we're just going to let it sit for just a little bit. You don't want to cut it too quick, but it is really good to eat while it's still warm. But we'll let it sit just a little bit before we take our first slice. There is our old-fashioned fresh apple cake. And one thing about this cake is even though it's got the brown sugar icing on top, glaze, it's still not overly sweet. And that's what I really love about it, because when things are just too overly sweet, I just don't like it. Even though it's not like a light fluffy cake, it's still very moist, but it's not too dense or nothing like that. Make sure you make this in a oblong pan. If you make it in 9-inch cake pans, I would probably do it in 3 of them, because you don't want it too thick. It'll take a while for it to cook, and you don't want the bottom to get too brown before the middle gets cooked. It's just like comfort food. It's really good. Your old-fashioned apple cake, fresh apple cake. It's really delicious. I hope y'all like this recipe. I hope y'all try it out. I was just wanting just something really comforting, not too sweet of a dessert, and this really hit the spot. Plus the fact that I had a bunch of apples that needed to be used. And like I talked about before, a lot of people ask me, what's the best apples to cook with? I say the ones that you got. I don't go to the store and buy special apples most of the time. If I throw something together, an apple cake or something that's got apples, apple pie, even my fried apple pies, I just use what apples, or even pears, whatever I've got. So y'all remember that. Don't go to the store and buy just special apples. Just use what you got. I like them when they got a little bit of tartness to it, but also not so tart that you can't get them sweet enough too. So y'all make y'all a fresh apple cake. You can do this in a bundt pan too, but just know that it may not be that easy to get out of the bundt pan just because of the texture of the cake. So y'all try this. So I hope y'all have had a wonderful weekend. This is, today is Tuesday, and I'm going to get a video out for sure. We've been really busy. Of course, Danny's still duck hunting. This is the last week of duck season. So y'all get to see a lot more of him after this week, that's for sure. And I'll get to see a lot more of him too. I've had some people tell me that they're not getting my notifications. They didn't even know I had videos coming up. But I always tell y'all to always know that I have at least 2 videos a week. So they're always there. A lot of people said they're having to go back and resubscribe to the channel. I even found that out for myself. Some of the little channels, smaller channels or bigger channels that I have subscribed to, for some reason lately, I'm not subscribed to them anymore. So you'll have to go back and check that and make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell that says all. That way you know that you get notified every time that I put a video up. So I don't know why that happens, but it happens to a lot of channels. So y'all have a really good week. I'm hoping to be back here Friday. At the latest, probably Saturday, but I'm hoping for Friday. We've had some really nice weather here. I think we're supposed to have some rain coming in, but it has been warmer, that's for sure. So I hope y'all been blessed and continue with blessings through the week and throughout your life. Remember, God loves you, and we love you too. We'll see you in a few days. And the recipe will be down in the description box below the video.